This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Welcome. Hello, everyone, to DBL. It's Tuesday, July 21st. I'm Tori in Flowers here with Al. You're looking fine yourself.
Well, thank you. I'm not in flowers, but I don't know if I'd count those as flowers, but go ahead.
They're abstract.
We got lots of stories, but those
abstract.
aren't flowers. They're not in any way flowers.
We're starting off really well. Brandon joins us from home looking amazing. How you feeling today, Brandon?
You know, I'm a little upset Al didn't get the email or the memo that we were wearing flowers today. So, you know, come on.
I missed it.
Come on.
Brandon looks like the groomsman that looks better than the groom.
Yeah,
You're like, stop bringing this guy to my wedding.
Yeah, totally. He's like,
my wife is looking at this guy.
The best man speech. You're like, dang it. All right, here we go. Let's get to these stories. A lot of people, let's just bring it up. We're a show that's very honest, are talking about Kanye, okay? Kanye West last night. Let's update you with the story. He took to Twitter, tweeting, Kim was trying to fly to Wyoming with a doctor to lock me up, like on the movie Get Out, because I cried about saving my daughter's life. He also hit out at his mother-in-law, the momager herself, saying, Chris, don't play with me. You and that Kanye are not allowed around my children. Y'all tried to lock me up. Okay, so let me backtrack a little bit. This was all after Kanye's presidential rally in South Carolina, where he made several controversial claims. People are now worried definitely about Kanye's mental state, including the singer Halsey. She tweeted this: personal opinions about someone aside, a manic episode isn't a joke. If you can't offer understanding or sympathy, offer your silence. So I think very clearly the DBL Nation wrote me, you've written on Facebook and Twitter and YouTube. This is clearly, in some ways, we're seeing a breakdown, right? What I think is interesting is, do you think, A, what would you do? And B, how do you feel knowing, and I'm gonna go to Al first, the Kardashians are angry because of how far he went speaking about his daughter, Northwest, speaking about maybe there was gonna be an abortion. They feel that went way too far. And once you've kind of crossed that line with the Kardashians, I wonder if they break.
Well, you know, it's bigger than the Kardashians. I think that we can all learn something from this, in that if you have a person that has a history of some kind of mental health issues, you should have a plan in place. You should have breakers in place to make sure that they don't end up on national TV at a South Carolina.
No, what if that person's Kanye West?
Exactly, but what if they're not? Because most likely, if they're us or our viewers, they're not going to have that kind of platform, but they still could end up acting out inside of a grocery store or doing something weird in a movie theater that could get them hurt, could get other people hurt. So you need to have plans in place because things like this happen when there's something going on wrong chemically with your brain. So I think that this looks like a failure at a lot of stops in terms of the people that are around him that were supposed to protect him. And now he seems like a human being that's floating.
Yeah, I do, but I wonder if the Kardashians get angry if they cut you off. I wonder what you think about that, Brandon, because he did go too far, in my opinion.
Well, I don't see them cutting him off. I mean, you know, they didn't cut off Scott Disick. They didn't cut off Lamar Odom. Right. Remember, Khloe Kardashian went to Lamar Odom's bedside. So I see them, honestly, Tori, with the momager and the brilliant entertainment mind that she is, I see them making this into some sort of Kardashian red table talk, where they put this and talk about the stigma of mental health and show how they're probably or could potentially try and get Kanye help and meet with doctors. Because I agree with Halsey in the sense where unless you've been through it, unless you've had a family member or a friend, and you realize that this person is acting completely different than what they normally are, of course you're going to laugh at it on a social media and stigmatize it. And I don't think that that's what we need to be doing at this time, because a lot of us know someone who suffers through mental health issues. And now it's the time that we really educate ourselves. And who else to do it with such a platform that they have than the Kardashians?
I agree completely with mental health. I'm just saying, through a marriage, that's very difficult to have your husband speak like that. And I think take Kardashian out of it, that's not easy for a couple to go through. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll read your comments. We are now moving on to reopening schools, which I know a lot of you have been talking about. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and the Education Commissioner are being sued by a group of Florida teachers. So it's all over an emergency order requiring that all schools in the state to fully reopen. Here's what the president of the Florida Education Association said about it on the Today Show. Take a look.
There are 2.8 million children that are depending on us to get this right. Given the circumstances right now, life or death, we don't have personal protection equipment. We have no education as it relates to how to social distance. In fact, our schools were built for social interaction, not social distancing. So we have to re-engineer the complete thought of what we think about our public schools. And we will get the job done. We simply cannot get the job done under duress.
Wow, well said. There was some good news, though, about a possible vaccine showing promising results. So here's what one Oxford doctor had to say about it on the Today Show as well. Take a look at this.
Assuming everything goes smoothly, we really should have made substantial progress in bringing this outbreak under control by sometime next year.
Wow. All right. So we're getting kind of like...
Assuming everything goes smoothly?
I feel like I'm getting...
Like it has up until this point?
Things have not gone at all rough at all. No, not at all. Al, can we do this for another year? And is there a political edge on everything that's making this even more difficult?
I'm not going to insult anybody that's not wearing a mask, and I'm not going to praise the people that are. But right now, we aren't doing anything because Brandon will tell you if he played professional football, if you call a play and 6 people do the play and 6 people think they have a better play,
right,
you're not playing football. You're human beings moving in a direction.
You're on the field.
So I will give this country that. We are human, and we are doing things that are things.
Is that all you can give us?
Yeah, so we don't have a plan. So we could do this for another year. It's like saying, could we put 12 kittens in a room and let them run around? They could keep doing it.
Wow.
We're fine.
Okay, so we're being compared to the kittens
We have no plan.
I hear you. There's no cohesive plan. Brandon, can you lift me up with anything?
There's no plan.
Wow. So you're not hopeful at all?
No. There's no plan.
I'm sorry, Tori. I'm with Al. I'm with you on this one, Al. I'm with you on this one.
Talk to me.
Because people are telling, you read the social media comments online, and people are so deaf-toned when it comes to this. I read one comment where this gentleman or this person was like, "Oh, the first responders and the nurses and the doctors stepped up. Teachers, it's your turn." Like, this is not a game of tag where you just tag someone in and they just go in with no real structure put into place. I don't understand this. And Al, you say this all the time. We want our teachers to arm themselves. We want our teachers to stay late and work with these kids, but they're not giving them any resources to stay safe and to create and to maintain a workable and healthy environment. And I don't understand why there's such a push to get the kids in school, because especially when that vaccine. We just heard the gentleman say that it may not be ready to go till next year.
Brandon, we're so ready to tap people, as you said, that aren't us. Hey, teachers, you're in. Get your helmets. Hey, college football players, sign a waiver saying that you won't sue the school, but go entertain us and make money for this city, because small college towns can't make any money without college football for 10 weeks. We ask everybody, EMTs, people that work at McDonald's, drive-thrus, people that drop off delivery, to step up, do your part. But when it's time to take care of them, when it's time to talk about health insurance, when it's time to do anything for them, it's said, shut up and do your job. When they want a $1 raise, which we covered a year ago, Brandon, with fast food. Do you remember the comments we got? Yep. But as soon as it's a pandemic and we need some drive-through because we're too lazy to get out of our car, it's like, hey, you're a hero. Now hand me my Big Mac.
Wow.
So I understand. I completely understand why teachers are hesitant, because they know that when they do get sick, which we've already had 2 teachers get sick in summer school. School hadn't even started yet. We know there's going to be nothing. So them writing out their wills, I think, is very prudent at this point.
And guys, this is coming from a former middle school teacher. So please know that Al, although we love him as a comedian, he had also spent time as a teacher, and it feels very strongly on that.
Very passionate.
Very passionate. Thank you for that. Well, all right, let's be honest. I want to get your take on federal officers being deployed to more cities. So let's talk about this. The government is reportedly sending more federal officers like the ones seen here in Portland to Chicago now. And as many as 150 could be sent to the city to deal with violence. Well, the mayor of Chicago, Lori Lightfoot, is not a fan of the idea. Here's what she had to say on MSNBC last night. Take a look.
And having these armed camouflage individuals with no insignia on, no nameplates, grabbing people off the street, that's unconstitutional. So our democracy is at stake. And I'll be darned if I'm going to let anybody, even if their name is Mr. President, bring those kind of troops to our city and try to take off our residents. That's not going to happen in Chicago.
Well, meantime, in Portland last night, more moms and even some dads took part in protests protecting demonstrators by forming another wall of moms. We have got a lot of feedback from you guys, a lot about what's going on in Portland, with one person writing, if you lived here and saw what was really going on, you would realize that it's about time that federal agents moved in here. Our local politicians are doing nothing to deter the violence and crimes that are going on by the so-called peaceful protesters. All right, so we got a lot to talk about in a very short amount of time. Someone wrote out to me as a mom and showed me crowdsourced pictures of her, and she claimed, Wendy, that it was very, very peaceful. This is Wendy here. She's all suited up, but she did have masks to be ready. I do understand, though, if it's your store and it's getting tackled on the other side, you do want someone to step up. Now, I think non-insignia is unconstitutional, but Al, how do you feel?
Oh, really quickly, because I want to hear what Brandon has to say. I would say most protesters, as I was one, I've protested on several different occasions. I didn't see any violent protesters, but there were people, I'm sure, down there trying to create anarchy. There will always be anarchists that want to break things, that want to steal things, that want to take advantage. So I think on behalf of all protesters, we're fine with those people being taken off the streets. Brandon, what do you think?
I think 3.5 years into his presidency, why wait now? I think just because we're a little bit over 100 days left, he's on the campaign trail to show like, hey, I'm tough when it comes to ISIS. I'm tough when it comes to Mexico and the cartels. Now I'm tough when it comes to Chicago. So I just think it's a campaign thing, Al, but I'd love to talk more with you all about it since I know we have to go.
Let's talk about this in social media. I think it's highly, highly unconstitutional, but I want to hear from the other side to bring it up. Brandon, stick around. Coming up on DBL, Alex Trebek gets real in a new memoir, from his cancer battle to who he thinks should replace him on Jeopardy. That's next. We'll be right back. Welcome back to DBL. Alex Trebek's new memoir hit the shelves today, one day before his 80th birthday. It's called The Answer Is: Reflections on My Life. The longtime Jeopardy host takes readers behind the scenes of the hit game show and his ongoing battle with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. And last night, viewers were treated to Alex's very first episode as part of its Jeopardy Vault series. He looks like Burt Reynolds. Alex spoke to Good Morning America about how he doesn't plan on ever walking away from the show, but he did offer up someone who could replace him eventually. So let's take a look.
I joke with the audience and I say Betty White.
It's a good call.
Because they want somebody younger,
Yeah.
somebody funnier.
She checks all
those boxes. Betty and I have been friends for a long, long time.
She is a national treasure, but so is Alex Trebek.
Yes.
Who would you want or would think of replacing him? And are you going to read his memoir?
I would. I mean, it's very rare that you get a chance to see somebody that can accurately reflect on their life. He still, and I'm not saying this to be, rude or anything, he still has all his faculties, which kind of leaves you at the end of your life. But to be able to sit there and truly reflect on his voice is in all of our heads.
I know.
Probably as much or more than most of our family members. We've heard Alex Trebek talking at some point. So it's kind of crazy how he's a part of all of our lives, and a daily part at that.
Was Jeopardy a part of your life, Brandon? Did y'all watch Jeopardy?
A little bit. I think with my grandparents, especially my grandmother before she passed away, I remember going to go visit them, and it was either Matlock, Columbo, or Jeopardy on. And I just remember beating my older brother in like a couple answers, and it was like a big deal to me. So
Brandon, let me ask you,
what's your
best category? What's your best category on Jeopardy? Mine was potpourri.
No, I hated potpourri.
Al, not putting me on the spot for 200, please.
You know what I hated? The worst one for me when they beat final
Jeopardy?
category.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just the name of it was bad for you, apparently.
Rivers. I never knew.
If it wasn't the Nile,
if it wasn't the Nile, I didn't know. Or Mississippi, I didn't know the answer. Seriously, I didn't know. All right, coming up on DBL, Sam talks with the lovely and glowing Dakota Fanning. She takes us inside her new show, The Alienist Angel of Darkness. Don't go away. Welcome back to DBL. Dakota Fanning has been wowing audiences since she was just a kid, and there's no slowing her down. Sam spoke with her earlier in today's Chatting with the Stars.
Dakota Fanning, I'm a huge fan. Welcome to DBL. I can't wait to talk to you about the upcoming sequel to The Alienist called Angel of Darkness. But first, with Hollywood being essentially shut down, what's been keeping you busy in social isolation?
The same things as everyone else probably. I've been watching some new things on TV, some old favorites. You know, my sister's done the sort of stereotypical baking, you know, just trying to get through this and hopeful that, you know, we'll come out of it better than we were before and finding some bright spots in the sort of strangeness.
I agree. And really quickly, before we get to your incredible sequel, what is your comfort movie that you've been turning to? Tell.
It's Almost Famous.
That's a good one. Yep, Band-Aids,
Yeah.
right? That's a really good one. In Angel of Darkness, you are a detective, an amazing detective in the late 1900s, a time where women were still fighting for the right to vote. So how else is your character a feminist symbol of the time?
We meet her in the very first season as the first woman to hold a position at the police department, which she clearly has aspirations beyond being someone's secretary. And this season, we get to see her right away having opened her own detective agency and employing other young women who she's sort of a mentor to. And, you know, she's really has struck out on her own. And at the beginning, you know, we find this case that falls into her lap, that someone who is kidnapping infants. It also gets the team back together that, you know and love from the first season, Dr. Chrysler, and played by Daniel Bruhl and Luke Evans, John Moore. It was wonderful to continue the story as actors and also as friends.
Wow, incredible. Yeah, I mean, first of all, kidnapping infants, I have an infant at home, so scary. Number two,
I know.
Yep, and I love that your character will uplift and empower other women. That is so cool. So our viewers are also huge fans. Okay, so are you ready for some viewer questions? Henrietta writes, you got to work with Quentin Tarantino in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. What surprised you the most about him as a director? And did your feet have to audition too? She writes.
That's funny.
I want to thank my co-stars, Leo, Margot Robbie's feet, Margaret Qualley's feet, Dakota Fanning's feet. Seriously, Quentin has separated more women from their shoes than the TSA.
It's such a dream come true. It was such a dream come true, something I had imagined what it would possibly be like if I ever got the opportunity. I mean, he has such a larger-than-life personality. He's such a fan of movies and television, such a insane knowledge of film and TV history, which is kind of mind-blowing. Yeah, it was great, and I was thrilled to have my feet in a Quentin Tarantino movie. It didn't bother me at all.
But they did not have to audition your feet.
No, I mean, I guess maybe they were technically a part of the audition, but no, I think I got the role based on other attributes.
Of course. Okay, so then The Alienist, everybody. I know you're excited. Angel of Darkness premieres on July 19th on TNT. Dakota Fanning, thank you so much for stopping by. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to DBL. We all know 7 to 8 hours of sleep a night is essential, but adding just 20 minutes, that can have a huge impact. So we're chatting about it in today's Rise and Thrive, sponsored by So Clean. Al, you say they're always walking into heaven, don't you?
Yes, they really do.
They look so
Very
happy.
peaceful.
Yeah. Doctors say 20 more minutes of sleep can do wonders for your mood, health, and productivity. Wellandgood.com studied a group of people, some who slept more, some who slept less. Then they exposed them all to a type of virus. Don't worry, not the coronavirus. Those who got less sleep were nearly 4 times more likely to get sick. That is surprising. So when it comes to sleep, for more ways to rest easy, go to SoClean.com or call 1-800-562-3891. 20 minutes.
20.
Are you a napper, Brandon?
No, I can't nap, Tori. But I am the type of person, I get my 8 hours, and I'm not one of those people who set like 3 or 4 alarms. I set 1 alarm, and that lets me know it's time to go. It's time to rise and thrive.
What alarm,
Do you think that comes from your years of football, like knowing that you had to be up and, you know, you can get cut if you're late for practice?
Nah, well, that's partially out because then it used to be like years of clubbing and then having to wake up and then go to practice. So
I love how
you
honest
sleep
he
to the
is.
last second and then you get up and
Years
go.
of
Do you guys
clubbing.
remember years of clubbing is like such a statement I would never make in my life. I do want to get to a really interesting comment about Kanye. This is from Della Terrell, says he can't blame the family because we literally have no control over how they act out, especially when the family is reaching out for help. He has to do it himself. I'm not sure I agree with that, but write in because this is the dialogue we want. DBL is new every day. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow.